Hi, I'm back to vlogging. It is Friday today and I'm not at work and I have Fridays off and I'm still really red in the face because I've done my run. I've had a shower but I'm still flushed. It is nearly the start of the Booksforthebrave Readathon, which starts on Monday. I am cheating because I finished my book last night and I didn't know if I'd have time to fit in definitely another book between today and Monday. I probably would have, to be fair, but I really fancied tackling my book which intimidates me because I didn't know if that was going to take me ages and then I wouldn't be able to finish the other books in the readathon, blah blah. And I actually fancied reading it, so I started it this morning. Sorry. Hence my vlog is starting now. So I've been in my van, I fixed my husband's computer and I am now making some lunch, and then I've got these delivered, which are shelving units for the garage. So we're trying to sort out our garage so that we can hopefully get some exercise equipment in there. So I need to tidy it out big time. So we've got some shelving units to help get stuff off the floor. Then we can put some flooring down in there and turn it into an exercise area, fingers crossed. So that's my plan for this afternoon, to try and get some of that done and also spend some time in the beautiful weather in the garden. It's probably more sensible to spend time in the garden when it's like this. So we'll see what mood takes me. It's the evening now and I'm just about to do my yoga class, but I've got about 5 minutes where I have to log on. So I just thought I'd talk about the book. So this is the book I'm reading at the moment, The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. This is for the prompt, a book which intimidates you. So I found a receipt inside this book and I actually bought it in 2012 from a charity shop. And I've been too scared to read it ever since. It's actually fine. So there's an introduction at the beginning, and I never read the instructions normally because it's always full of spoilers. But this introduction is only like 2 pages and it basically says this isn't spoilers, this is just telling you how to read this book. And it tells you that it's divided into 4 parts and actually the dates are on the 4 parts anyway, so you kind of know that. And it says that the first part is narrated by a 33-year-old man with severe learning disabilities. And so you kind of get an overall gist of things that are happening, but there's no logical time sequence, and it will flip from years ago to now to half an hour ago, all in the space of a few sentences. It doesn't give you any explanation of who the characters are, and it's hard to work out even if they're male or female sometimes. But it's like 62 pages, and as you go through it, you get a really sort of good gist of what's going on. And it's very shocking in terms of language, like the N-word, isn't it, a lot of times, and this guy with learning disabilities is called all sorts of like awful names. But the writing I love, the writing's amazing. I'm really, really enjoying it. And so that he's only the narrator for the first part, and the second, third and fourth parts are narrated by someone else. So basically says once you've read those parts, the first part makes even more sense. or makes more sense, should I say. So really enjoying it. It's not intimidating me at all as I'm reading it, and yeah, so far it's going to be a high stars read. I'm really finding it a page turner. So yeah. Good morning, it's Saturday morning, and I didn't actually sign off last night because I watched Miss Americana, the Taylor Swift documentary after I finished yoga, and it was so good. But it was also really shocking. Like, I had no idea how difficult her life is, how much hate and misogyny and everything is targeted against her. And I could talk about it for ages because it was so shocking. So shocking. And I think she's amazing. And it really showed her development over the time when she was 16, when she just started out, and she was kind of told for virtually all of her career, like, don't show too much, don't be political, don't say anything controversial, all that kind of stuff. And then she basically, towards the end, from about 2017 onwards, she just basically says, like, the gag's coming off, I'm talking, I'm saying what I think, I'm standing up for people, I'm becoming more of an activist. And it was, really positive, the development. Really good. I'd really recommend it. There's so many issues. It made me so mad. I kept pausing it and running through to my husband and having a rant about all the things that made me so mad about what was wrong with the media and the patriarchy in this documentary. Anyhow, so it's beautiful weather again today. I'm going to get some reading done. I didn't put any of my units up in the garage yesterday because I just thought I'd make the most of the weather. So I'm going to try and do some reading and do that and enjoy the weather. Look at my lovely plants, how much they've grown. They were just bulbs and I put them in on this windowsill. And now they're looking awesome. They'll be ready to put outside soon.
Where's the water?
Right, so I've been a labourer all day today. I have done virtually no reading at all, and I've been in the garage several hours today, sorting out the hideous mess that is the garage. I've built both my storage units. I've filled them both up. I'm going to need to order some more. I'll show you in a minute. So we're on the way to turning it into a gym, which is really exciting. I've been listening to my Jessica Simpson audiobook the whole time, so I've only got like 25 minutes left or something, which I'm really saddened it's finished because I love it so much. And so with The Sound and the Fury, it's so much harder. I'm on the second section, which is 18 years before, and it's narrated by somebody who I think is the brother of the guy who narrates the first section, and it's really hard work. The writing's quite beautiful, but it's one of those things we have to read some of the sentences like 4 or 5 times to actually understand them. So we'll see. If it doesn't get too much easier, I'm going to DNF. So we'll just see about that. I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you the storage stuff. So these are the storage units here. So I had to clear all the rubbish that was there to put the storage units in. I had to sweep all the floor, get rid of all the dead spiders. It was pretty gross. And then I've still got a heap more stuff on the other wall, which I won't show you, which is really in need of sorting out in the same way. So I'm going to get a couple more of these units, and then we'll be a step closer and we can get some floor down and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. So making stuffed mushroom burgers tonight. So this is the stuffing. It's onion, garlic, parsley, thyme, pine nuts, red wine vinegar and breadcrumbs. So just finish that, and then I've got 3 of these lovely mushrooms here. So I'm just going to grease those, season them, and then stuff them with this and bake them in the oven. So ready to go in the oven. They look really good. Looking good. Vegan cheese, normal cheese for Sam. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. is my lunch today. I've got black-eyed beans, broccoli, peppers, sunflower seeds, pine nuts, mushroom rice, all together there. I'm going to just make it into a wrap with some hummus, and then I'm going to keep the leftovers for lunch for at least tomorrow. That looks yummy. Been for my run this morning, had a shower, and so yeah, thought I'd have a healthy lunch to complement my run. Hey, it's the end of the weekend and I've done very little reading at all this weekend, so it's good that I started early with my reading challenge, which is supposed to start tomorrow. Today, this afternoon, I spoke to my mum and dad for an hour or so, and then I did some cleaning, and then tonight we just watched a bit of TV, and then I've spent ages on Audible trying to choose an Afrofuturism book for the Reading Women's Challenge. I finished my Jessica Simpson Audible book today and absolutely loved it. I won't do a review now, but I absolutely 5 stars plus. It was so good. And I want to choose something else. I don't know if I think I've chosen an Octavia E. Butler book for that prompt. But I don't know if I'll listen to that next or not. So I'm still faffing about with that. And so I'm probably just going to go to bed now and read a bit more of The Sound and the Fury, and yeah, because I've probably got to finish it in the next 3 days or so. So yeah, I think I'll read a bit more of that and then go to sleep. Night night. Hi, it's evening, about 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to go to bed in a minute. It's Monday. Been really busy at work all day, so I haven't actually had a chance to really film anything at all during the day. I was quite tired and I got home, and then we had the kids went they were in bed, and then we realised we couldn't find my little boy's dummy and his comforter, and we literally turned the house upside down trying to find it. And then he'd hidden it at the bottom of a bag of golf clubs, which I found after literally half an hour of turning every single cupboard and everything upside down. Yeah, so that was interesting. And then we watched an episode of their SAS Last Man Standing, or Last One Standing. And then, yeah, so I've just finished section 2 of my book. So there's 4 sections, and it's still the same in terms of a struggle you have to really pay attention to what's going on. You have to really get used to the writing style, but when you do it, it's worth it. So I'm really still enjoying it, but I found a study guide, which is divided into 4 sections. So I've just read the study guide for the first section. I'm going to read the second one in bed, just so that I'm really clear that I understand what's happened. And it might sound a bit bonkers enjoying a book where you're not exactly 100% sure what's happened, but I think it's all going to tie up, I hope. Anyway, so I know we've got a different narrator for the next section again. So far, I'm really still glad I'm reading it. I'm not finding it boring. I'm not finding it a struggle. You just have to get used to the pace and the style of writing. So yeah, I'm going to go and get ready for bed, read that study guide. I was going to watch an episode of Normal People, but it's just got a bit late now. And then, yeah, get up tomorrow, go for my run, and try and do a bit of homeschooling, etc. And anyway, waffling. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Time. Hi, it's I don't know, 8:30 or so. I've just lit some candles, you can see. I've done some meditation, and I've edited and posted a video, and I'm just gonna watch some TV, like one program or something for half an hour, 45 minutes or so. And then I'm going to read for the rest of the evening. Book-wise, I've got less than 100 pages to go now. It's so the first section, as I said previously, is narrated by Benji, who has the learning difficulties. The second section is narrated by his brother Quentin, and the third section is by his another brother Jason, who is a nasty piece of work. He's horrible. So we're listening to his perspective at the moment. And then I think the fourth section is kind of like an all-seeing sort of narrator. So we'll see how it wraps up. I'm not sure it's going to wrap up yet. They're all sort of giving versions of events of similar things. So I don't know where it's going to go. Still enjoying it. Shocking racism, absolutely hideous. But so far the writing is still blowing me away. So we'll see. Good morning, it is Thursday morning today, and it is a very wobbly camera. It is 7:15. I've had breakfast, I've got the kids' breakfast, I've got my food ready for work and my drinks ready for work, and I've just got my cup of tea now. So I barely got a chance to sit down and drink my cup of tea in the morning, but for some reason today I am. I've got this really annoying little bit of hair that keeps sticking out. So I've got work this morning. I didn't film anything yesterday really, apart from opening a Lush box, because by the time I sat down, it's actually 10 o'clock last night. It was really annoying. So all I did was I went straight to bed and read some of my book. I've just finished section 3, Jason's section, and I'm glad to finish his section because it's so horrible. Now it's the kind of omniscient narrator at the end, which I think I've got 47 pages left. So should get that finished today, and then I can move on. So it's a good job I started the readathon a little bit early, otherwise it would be the end of the readathon and I wouldn't have even got past book 1. So next I'm going to read the Mark Thomas book, which is our NHS at 70, and that will be quick and funny and factual. So I'm going to read that next. Probably start that tomorrow, I don't know. I'm finishing work at lunch today, which is great because it's the start of the weekend for me, and we might go out this afternoon because we're allowed out to an open space now, so we shall see. So check in later. Irresponsible. This beach is completely quiet, there's no one here. We know there's like a really, really quiet beach we can go to, so that's where we've been. There's literally no one here, apart from about 2 people every 100 metres. It's so nice to be outside here. We love the beach so much. Hello, so it is Thursday night, and I have finished my first book on the Books for the Brave Readathon. So The Sound of the Fear by William Faulkner. Right, so in the end, I thought this was going to be a 4 or 5 star initially, but this is a 3. And this just shows how difficult it is to rate books. No. Because the writing is looks like I've got like a black thing coming out my head. The writing is very, I can tell, you know, how well written it is, how well crafted it is, what a talent Faulkner has. But I rate books on enjoyment. So I found this problem with Jane Eyre. I didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped I would, but the craft of it was amazing. Yet there are other books that are nowhere near as well written, but I end up giving higher stars. I always have this dilemma, but this is a 3 for me because okay, let me change it. So the bits which were really moving were how the adult with learning disabilities was treated. Like, they were really heartbreaking. He was called like a loony, a retard, you know, just awful language, and he was constantly threatened with being locked up in an asylum, which is so sad. And I'm so pleased that now people with learning difficulties are able to live much more normal lives with a lot more care and support than they were then. There's so much racism in the book, and that's also completely heartbreaking. There is a mother who has a child out of wedlock whose child is taken away from her. So there's a lot of heartbreaking themes in this book, and they do make you feel emotionally drawn in. But there's also characters who are absolutely appalling in there, especially the son, Jason. And I really couldn't wait for his section to end because he's so disgusting. And so, yeah, overall. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy it enough to give it a 4 or 5. So that's my answer. And I'm really glad, like I said, that I started early. So my next book is going to be, I didn't bring it downstairs, which was really annoying. It's going to be Our NHS at 70 by Mark Thomas. So as I've said before, Mark Thomas is a stand-up comedian. His comedy is about politics, and he is an activist. He is an awesome guy. I met him after, I've seen him so many times live, and I met him after the show this time, and he gave me a big hug and signed my book for me. And we had a nice chat about the NHS. So this is the notes from the show, like the script from the show with photos. And having seen the show, it'll be really nice to relive it again. And I shouldn't think it will take me very long to read at all, because obviously the show is only like an hour and a half or so. So yeah, so that's my next choice. I think I'm just going to watch TV for an hour. My poor husband is upstairs in bed with a migraine. So I've got the TV to myself, so I'm just going to watch TV for a bit and then I'll start reading that. Good morning. It's Friday morning. It is barely morning. It's one of those days where you just don't get ready for ages. You just get faffing about. So it's, what time is it? 11 o'clock. I'm about to go out for my run in a minute. I've got to run for 20 minutes today. The longest I've ever run in my life. This book I finished. I finished it in one day. I could have done it in one sitting easily. I started it last night about 11, and I realised I'd read half of it when I was about to go to sleep, and then I read the other half in bed this morning because it's only 110 pages, and the pages haven't got that much writing on because it's like a script. Really good, really enjoyed it. Obviously, having seen the show live, I knew the content. Made me laugh out loud quite a few times because he's a comedian. Some really interesting points in there about inequalities in sort of social care and how that impacts our health, how in one London borough there's a 22-year difference in life expectancy from one side of the borough to the other. Also talked about PFI. It talked about the commissioning process, like how, for instance, in 2012, Andrew Lansley decided that the NHS was going to be split into different commissioning groups, and they were going to commission services, and apparently this is where to save money, but it's basically tendering out services to private companies, and it costs £2 to £3 billion a year just to do the tendering process. So that's money that's being wasted just for the sake of giving contracts to private companies and stuff. So it's really interesting and really easy to read and really funny. So I'd recommend it to anybody. So that was for my prompt of read a book with NH or S in the title, and it's called Our NHS at 70. It definitely has that. So that's 2 of the 3 prompts done. The last prompt is read a book with a brave character, for which I'm reading After You by Natascha McElhone, which is letters to her husband after his death. So I'm reading that one. Yeah, I was going to go out for my run now and have some lunch, and then I'll hopefully, if the beautiful sun holds, I've got some bits I want to do in the garden and get some reading done. Hello, haven't done much reading today. I've just been to Screwfix and got some more shelving units for garage so I can carry on with my garage project, and I have done a bit of cross stitching because I'm suffering with PMS today, and so that helps. I listened to some more of my audiobook. I haven't talked about my audiobook at all. I'm listening to The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. It's narrated by Tom Hanks. His voice is just the best. Oh, it's so nice. So I'm really, really enjoying it. I'll talk about it a bit another time. I'm just about to start cooking. So yeah, that was something which relaxed me. And then I've read a few pages. I've read like 20 pages something of the Natascha McElhone book. And now I'm just starting to cook dinner. So I'm making this. I've got no celery, but I don't think that really matters. Making that, so I'm just going to chop some carrots now and I'm going to boil them first for a little bit because they never cook in time otherwise, and then I'll get the rest of it on. Just rustled up this cake this evening. This is a Bosch recipe. It's a banana pecan, although I've used walnuts, and chocolate chip loaf. Had some bananas which really needed eating, and I didn't have any plain flour, so I used self-raising instead, and I didn't put in the bicarb and the apple cider vinegar which is used to raise it normally. So I've just been waiting for it to cool down, and it's now cool enough to cut. So I'm going to have that with a cup of tea while I finish watching Gardener's World, which is a lovely treat. Yum yum. Morning. It's Saturday morning today. I've been really rubbish and haven't filmed anything. I had a really lovely lie-in this morning. The kids went downstairs and watched TV, and I just was really lazy and stayed in bed and watched some of Gardener's World on the iPad and snoozed a bit. Didn't do any reading. And then yeah, had a shower and stuff, and then my husband's going to play his first round of golf in a few months, so he's excited about that. And I just went to the farm shop down the road to go and get some compost and some more flowers because I have loads at the moment, but there's a huge queue, so I gave up, and I'm going to go try again after he's back from golf. So I'm just going to make lunch, and then I'm going to go and do some weeding and stuff in the garden. Need to finish my book, so I'm reading, hold on, haven't really talked about it yet. Reading this, it's quite pretty sad, as obviously it would be, seeing as it's an account of grief. Yeah, not much to say yet apart from it's really sad, and it's just her trying to make sense of the death of her husband and being pregnant. Being a single parent and trying to work out all of the life admin stuff that goes around that, yeah, so I'm gonna go and make lunch anyway. Children are watching a Disney film, so I think I'm gonna listen to my audiobook and do some cross stitching. Marks and Spencer's dinner time. So what is this? Some sort of Thai sweet sticky rice, lovely, amazing thing. This is some cauliflower bites with a dip. and a well-earned alcoholic beverage before we start our quiz. It's Sunday and I have finished my last book of the Booksforthebrave Readathon. Can't say I enjoyed it because enjoyed is the wrong word. That's better. But it's a diary of grief, so it's quite hard to read. You can't really judge someone else's thoughts on paper when they're going through something like that, so I'm not going to give it a rating because I don't think it's fair. But yeah, it's interesting to read. So that was it. So I'm already got my next book ready, which Faye just picked for me, which is this one, which I've had out from the library for absolutely ages. Just finished work for my weekend shift and just chilling in the garden now. I'm going to go for my run later. Seeing as the readathon's finished, I'm going to sign off and hope you've all had a good week and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.